Well, we'd like to welcome everyone to our January 2021 market update. We're glad you could be here with us today. I wanted to spend a few moments here in the beginning talking about what events shaped the markets for last year, recap the markets for last year before we talk about this year. If we notice here in our first graph, uh, a chart of the S&P 500, generally considered the kind of broad market index. We notice that throughout from beginning to end throughout the year, we do see modest gains, double-digit returns, however, not without its highs and lows, its peaks and valleys, so to speak. So we want to talk about what are some of the main events that influenced and shaped this particular chart. Obviously, the big one that occurred in the beginning part of the year was that of the COVID-19 pandemic, officially declared a pandemic at the early part of March. However, as we notice there in the graph, as news started to flood in of its impact from overseas, late February, we saw sharp declines in the markets. And we see an all-time low for the year around middle of March. At that time, the Federal Reserve government programs stepped in to buoy the market, stabilize the economy through unemployment, direct stimulus, loans to corporations, etc. All of this created a break point to the market, and as we see there, also led to increases from those lows. Next major milestone as COVID cases, because of lockdowns and other initiatives, as COVID cases began to flatten in terms of new cases, we see another major event that had an impact to the market in the early part of June, late part of May, was the Black Lives Matters protest. These, just for a short term, we see had a negative impact on the financial markets, anxieties perhaps over the progress in COVID-19 cases and stabilizing those, as well as the size and scale of these protests. Shortly thereafter, however, we see a second round of federal stimulus, this time directed more towards individuals and small businesses through the PPP programs and direct stimulus and extending unemployment, all of these throughout the rest of the summer, having a positive impact on the overall stock market. And as COVID cases, the new cases began to flatten throughout the summer, we do see then in the early part of October, a change in that. As new cases in the beginning of October, the new cases started to accelerate and accelerate rapidly. This news had a very sharp decline in the market for a period of time, and that led to some optimism as we come into an election year in early part of November and throughout the rest of this year. So those are some of the main events that either temporarily or throughout the whole year shaped the S&P 500. As we look forward to 2021, we have much reason for optimism as vaccines and a stabilizing economy. We continue to expect that the stock market in general will show increases, especially as mentioned in previous months in our market updates on the value side of stocks. We expect bonds, because of a low interest rate environment, to be not as attractive as stocks coming into 2021. But I do want to mention here, as we now are into January, just as a reminder for all of you clients that you'll be expecting in the next few weeks, your 1099s, 1099-Rs for retirement accounts, Bs and DIVs and INTs for individual accounts. If you need any help with any of these tax-related items, we encourage you to reach out to myself. We're happy to help you navigate through those. Also, as we've come to an end of the quarter and really an end of year, just encourage you as well to book an appointment. We can review your portfolio and make any measures rebalancing as needed. So thank you once again for your time and your continued trust in Baumgren Retire Plan, and look forward to seeing you all very soon.